the ceremony. According to the Vatican, the 93-year-old former pope expressed joy at the visit and gave
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Week 13. This is Take It to the Hizzy Fantasy Football, TITTH number 78. I'm your host, Justin Bruni. Good morning. I got Nick Davis with me. Tell him what's up, boss.
What's up, guys?
Yep, happy to have you back, Nick. Been missing you past couple episodes. Glad to have you.
I've been tuning in. I've been doing stuff for the channel and stuff like that. I had to take some personal time. Had a tragedy in my life, and just glad to be back, trying to get back into the swing of things and come back to real life. So glad to be talking football.
Good time to hit your swing. Week 13. How are we looking? Making the playoffs?
Yeah, I think I'm making the playoffs with both my teams. I was actually really scared with the one that I filled in for you because I had TJ Watt and Bud Dupree left to play, and I only had like 6 points to go. And I think Yahoo had said that game wasn't going to be part of this week. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, I don't even have another defensive player, but they changed it all up and it came back where they could play. And
Ravens gave a ton of value.
Yeah, and I got a lot of value, so that helped me. I'm probably going to sneak into the playoffs on that one.
Cool.
And then the Rick and Relaxation League, I am second, I believe, and I am first in total points for the season. So
making that money. I'm
glad that the strategy that I had at the beginning of the season was, I don't care what position you are, just get me the most points possible, and it ended up working out. I'm very surprised that I ended up this high in the standings, considering it was a 0 RB strategy, completely inadvertent. And I was like, oh man, I'm screwed. But I've been, rocking Frank Gore and Phil Lindsay.
Well, tell them your quarterbacks, though.
Oh, well, I had Patrick Mahomes and Dak Prescott carrying me the
big start.
First 4 weeks.
And then who'd you get to fill in for Dak?
Then Ryan Fitzpatrick.
No. The real fill in for Dak.
No. Ryan Fitzpatrick filled in for a couple weeks, and I thought he was going to carry my ass. But as soon as he was benched, the guy who flipped in, Justin Herbert.
That's the game changer. To me. That's the big game changer, because when you go from literally Dak Prescott, on pace for over 5,500 yards for the year, and then you go over to Herbert, who in the past 7 weeks has more passing yards than a Patrick Mahomes.
I mean, yeah, those stats are dumb because Andy Reid doesn't let Patrick Mahomes just light it up every game. Like if he just took off the chains of his arm, he would light him up to 600.
He's been letting Pat Mahomes do Pat Mahomes things as of recently. It's just that the Chargers game plan, it's just all passing.
Yeah, and they're always behind.
Exactly. Yeah.
Anthony Lynn cannot make a right decision. I mean, I've seen some serious breakdowns on the past game and some of the decisions made. It's bad, and I don't think he's going to last the season. We'll see, but I hope that an offensive mind goes to Herbert. But yeah, my teams, I was very surprised on my success this year, and I just hope to continue it. I just glad that I'm not facing the first seed in the first round of the playoffs, and I can kind of get into the next round. So hopefully, but I'm coming in strong with that Rick and Relaxation League, because Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill are starting to be unleashed. Beginning of the season, I was depending on Herbert,
47 points last week, 48 points, whatever.
Yeah, that wasn't happening at the beginning of the season. It was
he's getting a touchdown a game. He just wasn't going off the crazy Tyreek Hill numbers. That's all.
It was 25, 30 points for the guys, and those extra 15 points do a lot. Oh, yeah. And
they can literally cover a goose egg in your lineup.
Yeah, and they've also those two hooking up that stack has been carrying my ass with the points for the regular season. So hoping to make a little extra cash.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're going to take home the point total. I think that's going to be yours. We'll see what happens.
We'll see.
Me on the other hand, I'm on the outside looking in. I need wins. Week 13 wins. I need some Derek Carr. I'm repping the silver and black once again. Another episode of Silver and Black. Need Derek Carr. Need the Raiders to show up. They're not going to have Josh Jacobs today. I'll let you get to the player statuses here in a moment, but I'm feeling pretty good about Derek Carr, who should be passing a lot up against a really bad Jets defense. So let's fire up some Derek Carr this week. You can jump into the player statuses, who we got out of the lineup, who's in, and who are left as game time decisions.
Not expected to play Salvin Ahmed. That's really unfortunate.
Ouch.
Yeah, that season's kind of done, it seems. Miles Gaskin is coming back, I believe. He said he's available to play.
He's in my my DFS lineup.
Yep. DeAndre Washington, he's out. DeAndre Swift out. Daniel Jones. Well, these guys are not expected to play. Sorry. Daniel Jones not expected to play. Travis Homer not expected to play. Ruled out now is Jonnu Smith, Josh Jacobs, Matt Breida, Kenny Galladay, Irv Smith. Dang, that's a tough list, man.
I'm gonna fire up some Kyle Rudolph this week.
We're firing up Devontae Booker, the running back replacing Josh Jacobs this week against the Jets because they bad. So we trying.
I like that. I like some Devontae Booker this week. I also like some Miles Gaskin for the Dolphins. I mean, we'll get to these guys in the matchups here shortly, but
I love Miles Gaskin.
Miles Gaskin's been looking good this year. He's actually been practicing for 2 weeks, guys. So you shouldn't look at him just coming back today as just like a slight. Kind of like a Zach Ertz. You know, the Eagles have come out and said, like, you know, they're saying like, oh, well, you know, we're going to ease him back in. Miles Gaskin looks like he's ready for a real workload. It's not as similar of a situation it is to most weeks where guys are just coming back. It's their first week, you know, back in the lineup. You need to ease them in. No, Miles Gaskin is going to be good to go today for a real workload. Juicy matchup, too, against the Bengals.
He also has great pass catching ability. And honestly, it doesn't matter who's in. Both quarterbacks have been using him as a safety valve. So that's why I like Miles Gaskin a lot. Salvin Ahmed's more of a rusher.
Oh,
yeah, it is.
That was fun.
It was
fun for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it was great.
Salvin Ahmed, gonna miss you, buddy. Sitting on my bench with Rojo this week. Ouch.
Oh, man, that sucks. Rojo's been doing real good.
Yes, it sucks. Mister, we need to get him 20 touches. Hopefully, I make the playoffs to give him some more work.
Yeah. Game time decisions. Only Big Ben's a game time decision with 2 kickers, Chris Boswell for Pitt, which is kind of interesting because, you know, it just changes up their game plan if their kicker's out. Right. Nick Foles for New England, he's also out. Or game time decision, sorry. And then expected to play Todd Gurley, Julio Jones, Tua Tagovailoa, Allen Robinson, Matt Stafford, Carlos Hyde, Cam Newton, Kalen Ballage, Philip Lindsay, Jerry Jeudy, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Terry McLaurin, and Darnell Mooney.
Okay. I mean, I'm pretty confident that the Bears receivers are going to make it. I'm pretty sure Allen Robinson and Mooney are both going to play in that game, so I'm not too worried. But it does kind of take Mitch down a notch. We can jump into that game first, actually, if you like.
Yeah, we can. Let me give you the lines really fast. So the spread is +3 for Detroit. They're at Do you want the odds too, or just run through the?
Just the spread, the money line, and the total.
Money line. Detroit's +150. Chicago's -170.
Okay.
Over under is 44.5. Okay. And then total points. It does it by half. It looks like so. It would be 48.
44. 44.5.
I don't know. Team points.
Okay. 44.5.
Sorry about that.
So instantly, I'm a Bears fan. I don't have the gear on today. I need Derek Carr to do more for me. The Bears, like, if you need me to wear the jersey today to beat the Lions, like, sorry, Mitch, like, I don't know, man. You're their dad, you know. Come on now. Instantly here, I like the Bears in the spread. I like the -3. I do like the money line too. Still, I do think they take this one out. They just need a win really bad. And the Bears, you know, right now they're sitting, I think, like 15th or 16th in a draft. This would be a great opportunity to just say, hey, pack it in. Let's get a good draft pick. So, rightfully so, the Bears will probably win this game and, you know, chase more towards the middle. Get that 20th pick. Woo!
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we can't have it, you know, we can't have anything positive. We can't have anything that good going our way. So, let's get a win here. Let's muck up the division a little bit more and chase ourselves towards the middle or a playoff spot where we'll probably lose our first matchup. I like the over. Give me the over here.
All right, so here's some trends. Chicago is 1-12 against the spread in their last 13 games played in Week 13.
Ouch!
So that is a trend.
That's a historical one.
Yeah. And then they're also 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 games against an NFC North opponent. They're 1-4 in their last 1-4 straight up on their last 5 games against an NFC opponent.
Okay.
Total has gone under in 5 of Chicago's last 6 games at home, and then also 6 of the last 8 games when playing at home against Detroit. And then they're also 0-5 straight up in their last 5 games.
Kind of hard with the last 5 one, just because Mitch has only been in for a couple. But yeah, I'm still riding the Bears here. I mean, I don't know the score off the top of my head from Week 1, but these teams
trying to find that
these teams played Week 1, and the offense was pretty alive. So I'm not too worried. I think there's going to be a good amount of Adrian Peterson today for the Lions. I think the Bears, I mean, they'll muck it up. They're going to have their issues in this game, but they're going to put up points. Like Mitch is going to have a good first half, I believe.
So it's 27-23, and the spread was 2.5.
Yeah, so pretty damn close, huh?
Yeah, I think that this game is going to kind of have the same feel to it. And really, I hate talking bad about the Bears because I do think that they are a great team. There's just one piece.
They have a great defense.
But for me, the way I see it is they have some weapons on the outside that if a competent quarterback came in.
I watched some Darnell Mooney highlight tapes where the quarterback's overthrowing him.
Oh, yeah.
Darnell Mooney, he's got some great tape of just cutting up corners, putting them in roller skates. The only problem is at the end of every one of those highlights, the ball is going over his head by 5 fucking yards. It's really infuriating.
Like if Darnell Mooney was in Seattle, he'd be Tyler Lockett 2.0.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the truth. And that's kind of how I feel.
If he was in Cincinnati, he'd be T. Higgins 2.0.
Yeah. And it's just that one piece to me that's really missing that could help get this team going. Like, I would love to see Jim McMahon in this team.
Zach Wilson.
I saw Zach Wilson play yesterday, and he got
killed. You see that hit?
I did see him get harassed on that one play.
Harassed. It was like an assault.
It was an assault.
That was like some Myles Garrett helmet shit.
But one thing that I saw him do that you will not see Mitch nor Nick Foles do is he was rolling out to his right and he swung it was incredible. Heaved it, and it was right on the money to someone across the field. And they were talking about how he's been working on his hips and stuff. Like, if he was in the offense, I feel like these receivers would have more value. I mean, Anthony Miller's been languishing in Chicago.
Watch us win this week and just chase another pick away from a Zach Wilson.
Yeah, exactly.
I see him going in the top 10. I mean, obviously the mocks, it's like so early, but I see like all these quarterbacks, and the Bears being a team that misses out on them, like, past like pick 14, pick 12.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's. I think he's not going to reach top 7. Or past top 7. He's like, there's just so much need for a quarterback in this league. But the Bears just made,
especially in a year where we didn't get like full college football. Like, these scouts may not be able to get as many eyes on some of these other guys. It may just be easier to just draft a quarterback earlier than wait on one. When you're spending your draft capital.
To be completely honest, at this point, I think all the scouting is just trying to see flash plays. Like, you're not looking at the entire season's model because the season's pretty effed, but you're looking for those plays that, like Justin Fields yesterday, I was watching him against Michigan State.
The plays that can tell a story, right?
Yeah. He ducked and dodged and got away from the defense very smoothly and just ran in, and there was nothing to do about it. It was just incredible how poised he was, how agile he was, and how quick he moved.
Practicing the 5 Ds.
He was a quarterback, and it just was incredible. So I think that's how they're going to be approaching the season. But man, the Chicago Bears need a defense. I think that the story is going to flip with them, with Mitch having like 3 touchdowns, no interceptions against Detroit. I think that story is going to flip because there is a different coach there. And what we have seen, I'm not saying that.
No Matt Patricia.
RIP, not really, but
deuces.
We've seen in this NFL season, like, Dan Quinn's defense is now number 1 in the NFL since he got fired. And Houston, they had a great comeback after losing Bill O'Brien. So I think Detroit's going to come out a little bit.
There's some value there.
A little bit enthused, and I think that the offense is going to hold Chicago back from winning this game and definitely covering. I don't see them having the 3 points. I see it being a 1-point game, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, to me, I'm still going to take the Bears on the money line. I'll say to fire up Mitch Trubisky. I mean, I understand what you're saying. Like, eventually that stat or that trend has to run down, right? So I could still see Mitch, though, throwing at least 2 passing touchdowns. I'll fire him up this week. I think he's a viable start. It's a good matchup. And I'm going to take the over here.
Okay.
Give me Montgomery, Allen Robinson. I'm not starting Darnell Mooney this week. Cole Kmet could be a nice little real deep plug.
I saw him getting some run. Yep.
Getting some plug and play this week. Jimmy Graham has been really beat up. There's some good value going up against the Lions with tight ends. So I think that Cole Kmet is going to find the end zone this week. I like him in some DFS. I think he's a low end option. I think he's going to find pay dirt. I think he is going to be one of Mitch's touchdowns this week. I'm very confident in that. Very confident in some Cole Kmet this week. It's random touchdown dependent option. The Lions, I will not take Matt Stafford. I will take Adrian Peterson. I will not take DeAndre Swift because he is going to be on a workload. And I will not take any single receiver there, but I will take T.J. Hawkinson. The Bears giving up the third most fantasy points to the tight end position. So I will take T.J. Hawkinson and AP, nothing else.
I saw
Very important week.
I saw that AP had said that DeAndre Swift hadn't looked the same, like, energy-wise since his injury, because it was like a concussion thing. So that's very worrisome.
Yeah, I do not trust Swift this week whatsoever.
Yeah. And then also Marvin Hall, he just went off for like 113 yards. Yeah, he's gone.
They're talking about waiving him, yeah.
He's already gone.
Oh, he already is gone? Holy hell.
Yeah, so
that's,
that's kind of taking. I mean, for me,
Quentin Cephas, they propped him up. That's what I read. Like
the new Megatron. Here we go.
I don't know why they worded it the way that they did, because when I read about that that story, it was like, oh, they plan to waive him, and I'm like, okay, so did they do it?
Hey, we're not going to fire you yet, but just hold on. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Week 14, you're going to need a job. Yeah. So, this is our 1 week notice. Yeah, I didn't understand that, but they must love something out of Cephas, or I don't know. Like, we saw him, kind of pop off early in the year. And, with Galladay, having those struggles getting onto the field early on, obviously still can't stay healthy. So I don't know. I don't know what the appeal is with this Cephas guy, but apparently he has a little bit of extra juice than, a Marvin Hall. So, yeah, I'm going to keep it simple there. Only Hawkinson and AP for the Lions.
Okay. You want to move on to the next one?
Yes, please.
All right. So the next one is Cincinnati and Miami. Spread is Cincinnati plus 10.5. The money line is plus 410 for Miami, minus 515, plus 410 for Cincinnati, minus 515 for Miami, and then the total is 42 points.
I like the over. I don't love the spread. The 10.5 is way too big for me, and the books are not giving me any value on the money line with the minus 515 there. So I'm going to take the Dolphins, of course, but I think that you need to parlay them into a set of picks here to get some real value on them winning this game. I'm fading all my Bengals. I'm no Brandon Allen for me, no Giovanni Bernard.
No Brandon Allen? What?
No, sorry, boss.
Arkansas legend, yo.
Sorry, boss. No Razorbacks for me this week. T. Higgins, I can say start T. Higgins. That's about it. No Tyler Boyd for me. Xavier Howard has been one of the best corners, shutdown corners in the league this year.
Twitter's going off on trying to get him to the Pro Bowl. Him and Jason Sanders, I've been seeing a lot of. So
you don't want to go to the Pro Bowl, Xavier Howard. Pro Bowls are for losers.
You want to be an All-Pro. That's what you want to be.
Yeah, and you want to be playing in important games. You don't need to be in Hawaii. Or actually, there isn't a real Pro Bowl this year.
No, they're
just for the sake of votership, right?
Yeah. I think they're doing like a virtual or something like that.
They need to do skills competition.
Yeah, I miss the skills competition.
They only need to do skills competition, and that's it. Like, they could just have these dudes playing dodgeball at the Pro Bowl, and people would watch rather than watching them play football.
I'd watch them do bench press too, to be completely honest.
I absolutely would. That would be fun. Not to get too sidetracked here from the Bengals and the Dolphins. I'm fading as many Dolphins and Giants as I can. T. Higgins, he's the guy that I want from the Bengals. I'll give you my Giants pick in a bit. But for the Bengals, give me T. Higgins. Tyler Boyd's going to be on a Howard Island. And the Dolphins' defense has just been very good this year. I'm not trying to go against it in Week 13. I think there's better options for you out there. So I'm gonna fade my Bengals. I like all of the Dolphins though, even Fitz.
Yeah, I'm high on all the Dolphins that are going to be playing. I mean, they just seem to have a little. They always provide value every week. They might not pop off, or they might not throw up a goose egg, but they are going to provide value. So here are some of the trends that I've found. Miami is 6-1 against the spread in their last 7 games. I don't think they've had a spread like this though. So that's kind of like an interesting thing.
I would stay away from this. From that spread.
Yeah. The total has gone under in 6 of Miami's last 9 games. Total has gone under in 5 of Miami's last 6 games against Cincinnati.
Interesting.
And then Miami is 6-1 against the spread in their last 7 games at home. So some Cincinnati ones, they are 7-3 against the spread in their last 10 games. Total has gone over in 10 of Cincinnati's last 15 games. Ooh, Cincinnati is 17-1 straight up in their last 18 games on the road.
Ouch.
So, I mean, for me, that screams money line Miami, but there's really no value to it. You
got to put it in with something else if you're going to take the money line for sure.
Maybe
but I still like the total at 42 points. I mean, they're putting the Miami Dolphins line at 27.5 for just them. I was saying they at least score 24. what 24 and 14, 24 and 17. That doesn't quite do it, does it?
But think about Cincinnati's like offensive problems without Joe Burrow. Like they're relying on Ryan Finley, and maybe T. Higgins might get a touchdown, but that's one touchdown. And Giovanni Bernard is no Joe Mixon.
That's true. That's true. I feel like they do pass to Bernard a good amount here. I feel like they get Samaje Perine, get some random touches. Obviously, that's not a guy that you're plugging in for fantasy, but he could move the chains and get a couple of scoring drives out of the Bengals. And we saw them just put up field goals too. I don't know. I guess I'll stay away from the number. You've given me enough information to scare me away from it. But I like the Dolphins on the money line. Give me all of Fitz. Give me all of Devontae Parker. True number one wide receiver with Fitzpatrick in the lineup. I don't know who he is. He's like a paper boy with Tua in the lineup.
It's like Tua doesn't see him, and I think Tua,
unless he's within 5 yards of the goal line.
Yeah,
what the hell?
And I think that what I'm starting to see with these younger quarterbacks, I mean, there are very few that you see that this is not happening with. Like, I don't believe it's happening with Herbert, but I believe it is happening to an extent with Tua, where they're saying you hike the ball and you're going to this side. If it's not, either run out or take the sack, but we're not throwing an interception. I feel like that's kind of where the low passing numbers are coming from, because he's not seeing the guy that he's told to throw to.
The playbook is just so much more conservative with Tua in the lineup. It's just not going to get you anywhere, unfortunately.
Miami's fans are like, they keep saying like, Tua's going to throw for 300 yards in this amount, and I'm like, on what planet, what knowledge, what film are you watching to see this? Like, okay, I can understand if you're watching Alabama. Yeah, I can completely understand.
A little different.
Realize he had Jerry Jeudy and Henry Ruggs just running all over SEC defenses. So I'm just like in shock how they're always like, our offense is so much better with Tua. For me, it's better with Fitz, man. Fitz is
way
the leader
better
in that room. And
way better.
I feel like it kind of ruffled a little bit of feathers. And when Tua wasn't even getting over 100 yards passing, Flores basically had no other choice but to go back to Fitz to try and save face and save the season.
Well, save the season. I don't know about face, but maybe save his job, because you start mismanaging some of these wins and losses here when you're well in the playoff hunt. Yeah, it's going to start looking bad.
Especially in the AFC East, Joe. Like, that's a very now it is very competitive.
It's wide open.
And Miami is honestly the team looking on the outside. I mean, New England can pop off at any time. They're probably not going to win the playoffs this year, but they're always going to be in the race right now. And Buffalo,
they'll be in the race every year with Bill Belichick at the helm.
Yeah.
I ideally, right, with the right players, guys not taking off for COVID and stuff like that. They got their full roster, their full regime. Yeah, they're still going to be in it, as we've seen. I think they probably even re-up for another quarterback next year. I don't think they stay committed to Cam. So
I don't think so either.
I think that the Patriots, they're going to be deadly going forward. When you're Miami, you got to take care, or seize the moment when it's available, right? And right now with Fitzpatrick there, it's still available for you. So you got to go after it with this guy.
I've seen some videos of Fitzpatrick and Tua like talking on the sideline. And Fitz is the ultimate professional. Like, he is honestly,
he's the dude. He's the dude.
He has his own feelings, and he realizes that, but he also knows that he's there to help, and he is giving that Tua information that Tua's really not using. And it's kind of frustrating because Ryan Fitzpatrick is a gem of a backup QB, and you're not using him correctly. So
I'd love for him to come to Chicago. Bring Ryan Fitzpatrick to Chicago.
Man, I would love to see Fitzpatrick in Chicago.
Because we probably won't get a good enough pick to get one of those young quarterbacks.
Trade your 15, 16 overall pick for him.
Yeah, right. I mean, they could move up. The Bears could try to move up, but I doubt it'll happen. We don't make sexy moves like that. And when we do,
that's true.
We take Mitch Trubisky over Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson.
Talking about sexy moves, I'm glad that John Wall is gone and Russell Westbrook is back in. He's excited to be here with.
Cheers to that.
I'm very excited. So just talking about sexy trades, that to me that was sexy because
sexy for the Wizards, not for the Houston. We'll get to that in a couple weeks.
Yeah. All right. So the next matchup is Indianapolis Colts and Houston Texans.
Why is this matchup so close on paper? It's so close on paper.
It's honestly for me, I think it's the ineptitude of Philip Rivers and how he's regressed from the previous guy. It just doesn't give me confidence with that offense, and that's really the issue.
Well, the defense has taken the back seat in the past couple of weeks too. The defense is allowing a lot of points. They're going on the road here. I mean, I'm still confident that the Colts pull out a win, but only minus 165 on the money line.
Yeah. Wow. So it's +3 Houston. And then they are +145 on the money line. The over under is 50.5. So what
I'm going to take the under. I'm going to take the under there. I mean, I know that the Colts defense has been kind of shit the past couple of weeks, but I have to think that this is a rebound opportunity here. Like, I have to think like this is a get right moment for the Colts defense. Look yourself in the mirror. We got the playoffs ahead. We're going toe to toe with the Titans in our division. Like, this is a division game that we should win, like, easily, right? I think that, the biggest landmine that they have to avoid is Deshaun Watson, because this team is hurting. The Texans, they've lost Randall Cobb. They've lost Will Fuller.
Kenny Stills is gone.
They've lost Roby on defense. They've lost Kenny Stills or whatever. They waived him. They purposely got rid of him. Their receivers right now, they have Brandon Cooks, Kiki Kute, Isaiah Coulter, running backs, Duke Johnson, and now first week back after concussion protocol, David Johnson.
Good for him.
I have to imagine it's going to be a lot of dinks and dunks to David Johnson. To be perfectly frank, I was not impressed with Duke Johnson's ability to fill in for David Johnson. So I don't expect a ton from him today.
This might be the last year for Duke Johnson. I mean, that was kind of like you had every opportunity to show the world what you had. And it was very disappointing.
It's very inefficient workload out of Duke Johnson the past couple of weeks. I'm not excited about him this week up against the Colts.
You want to hear some rankings?
Yeah, go ahead with the trends.
So talking about the Indianapolis defense and Houston offense, which we think is going to be the prime matchup of this matchup, and so Houston is third in passing yards. Indianapolis' defense is seventh, so that's very interesting. Another interesting thing is that Houston has second to last amount of rushing yards in the league. Indianapolis is the seventh best rushing defense in the league. And then yards per play, Houston is third in the league. And Indianapolis has allowed up the seventh least amount. So it's going to be an interesting game. Here's some trends about the over under. So total has gone over in 6 of Indianapolis' last 7 games. Total has gone over in 5 of Indianapolis' last 6 games on the road. And then they are 7-0-1 against the spread in their last 8 games when playing on the road against Houston. Here's an interesting fact. This is kind of weird considering how good Indianapolis has been. Indianapolis is 1-5 straight up in their last 6 games against an opponent in the AFC South.
Interesting.
That is hugely interesting. How
their own division?
Yeah. How that's incredible. Let's see what Houston has. Houston total has gone under in 5 of Houston's last 6 games at home. They are 0-7-1 against the spread in their last 8 games when playing at home against Indianapolis. And then total has gone under in 7 of Houston's last 6 games played on a Sunday. I always think that's funny because I always think every game is played on Sunday, but it's not.
I don't know. I'm still going to the under here. I think there's going to be less points than expected in this game. I think the Houston Texans are going to struggle on offense a bit, missing Fuller, a big identity of their offense, right?
Vertical threat.
Right, exactly. I think Cooks cleans up. I'm okay starting him in fantasy. I am starting Kiki Kute. I don't feel great about it, but I feel like he can still get me 5 or 6 catches, hopefully 50 to 60 yards. I'm praying for a touchdown, but he is a touchdown-dependent option to really go off this week. I'm hoping for the best, expecting the worst.
I mean, that's how you got to go about in fantasy.
Yeah, I'll start up Watson, but I'm really limited on the Colts that I want to start. So Hines, Pittman,
Burton,
and
I know
listen
you,
to Nick.
I
listen to Nick. Listen to Nick. Don't listen to me. I hate Trey Burton.
Last week we were doing the DFS lineup, and I was like, I want to put in Trey Burton.
I said no.
There was another one where you wanted to put him in, and I didn't. And
I know, and it went
vice versa. So it was even. But I remember seeing that Trey Burton touchdown. I'm like, oh man, Justin's like grinding his teeth.
I also really, really wanted the Saints defense.
Oh yeah,
I wanted the Saints defense really bad. I claimed it would be a shutout. They got the 3 points. I'm sorry, but I said it would be a shutout. They got 3 points. Whatever.
But I would definitely play Trey Burton. I'd also play Jack Doyle. I do not know this for a fact, but apparently T.Y. Hilton has been heating up. I don't know.
If you want to call that a fact, I don't know. I mean, to me, it's just 1 week, right? I mean, he had a touchdown last week, and
okay, that's what it was. Because everybody's like, "Oh,
I'm taking Michael Pittman still."
Yeah, Michael Pittman all day, baby. He's looking like a real legit receiver. Philip Rivers, though, man,
no, thank you.
I'm gonna stay away. He's just not the same person anymore, and it's completely understandable. 5 times undefeated, but I was hoping for one more year.
Tell that to Tom.
I mean, Tom's not looking great either. Like, I'm not saying like Tom is looking bad, but he's definitely not the same Tom. And he grossly underestimated learning a new playbook. Like having the same playbook for 20 years. He's literally had the same playbook for 2 decades, and then it goes to another team and expects to have the same success. It doesn't work like that in the NFL, and I think he grossly underestimated
Tom Brady didn't win any of his Super Bowls in the 90s, did he?
No, it was his first one was in 2000. It was 2001.
Oh.
Because 2000 was the Ravens, 2001 was the Rams, and then 2002 was the Buccaneers.
I guess it doesn't really matter. I was about to compare him to Jordan, but Jordan is the only player to ever score 50 points in 3 separate decades.
Wow.
The 80s, the 90s, and 2000s.
Okay, so I have a question for you. Just talking about like greatness. I saw that someone has said, "Oh, Favre and Rodgers, try and find me another organization that had like
cut, cloth to cloth."
And for me, Drew Bledsoe and Tom Brady.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
I mean, you want to go like that because Brett Favre only won 1 Super Bowl. Drew Bledsoe won 1 Super Bowl too. And then
this isn't a great one, but talent wise, Drew Brees and then Phillip Rivers.
That's a really good one.
It's just based on their talent. They didn't have great success in playoffs or things like that. Like Phillip Rivers never won a Super Bowl. Drew Brees did, but I mean, cloth to cloth, connect, one to the next. It was pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean that's really good. Yeah. We got completely off topic. But anyway.
No worries. I'm taking the Colts here, money line. I'm going to take the under. There is some value for the over here, but I just don't think that the Texans' offense is going to show up. To be perfectly frank, I think that they're going to be looking to Deshaun Watson to do it all, and hopefully he doesn't die out there for us, doesn't get hurt. So
I like Deshaun Watson. So someone said that he's like one of the most likable people in the NFL, and I was like, I don't disagree.
Yep, would have loved to see him in Chicago Bear orange, but we won't.
You would have loved to see anybody except the one person you do have.
Yep, I would have taken Solomon Thomas. I would seriously, who I was expecting the Bears to draft in that draft, but whatever. Oh. Who we got up next?
We got Jacksonville versus Minnesota. Right, Jacksonville is plus 10.5.
No thanks.
Money line is plus 385. Minnesota is minus 475. And then the total points is 51. So, what are your thoughts?
I'm going to take the under here. Right now, the over is actually showing plus money. I think the Vikings put the ball on the ground a lot in this game. I'm expecting a lot out of Dalvin Cook. He's literally ranked number 1 running back on the week. So please, Lord, don't disappoint. Please bring home the bacon. I need a playoff run here, Dalvin Cook. Oddly enough, if you're worried about Dalvin Cook, Alexander Madison is out of this game. I think he had an appendicitis or something like that, something crazy.
Oh,
so they're going to be using a lot of Dalvin Cook. The spell back is not there. Who's behind him? Mike Boone?
Yeah.
So maybe Mike Boone gets some touches, but I'm expecting a lot of Dalvin Cook today. I don't love the spread though, man. Minus 10.5. I don't love that. And Mike Glennon showed some, passing acumen last week through 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. I do think they try to chuck it up quite a bit. I need DJ Shark to get it right so I don't have to shave my head. It's trending that direction.
I was so pumped about Parker's week last week.
Oh,
I was
God.
Like, thank you.
I need a big week out of Shark, but I'm not expecting it. I'm keeping it simple here. Give me the Vikings. Give me Cook. Give me Thielen. Give me Jefferson. Give me Shark for the Jaguars. Give me Keelan Cole. Give me James Robinson. That's about it.
Okay. Jacksonville is 3-6 against the spread in their last 9 games. They're 0-10 straight up in their last 10 games. And then total's gone under in 4 of Jacksonville's last 5 games against an NFC North opponent.
Okay.
And then Minnesota. They are 4-1 straight up in their last 5 games.
They're rolling.
Total has gone over in 7 of Minnesota's last 7 games at home.
Okay. Interesting.
Minnesota is 13-7 against the spread in the last 20 games against an opponent in the AFC, and then 1-4 in the last 5 games played in Week 13.
1-4. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to take the spread. I don't like these double-digit spreads.
I don't like that spread at all. I mean, it's an NFL team. Like for me, it's like, man, 10.5. Like when you think about it on paper and you're not like, going too deep into it, you're like, oh, Jacksonville, Minnesota.
Well, the 10.5, the minus 10.5 means you have to win by 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, that's hard.
That's a bad number. I mean, that means you have to hit a 12 spot or a 14 spot realistically. And that 11 could just be lost on you could be up by 17. The other team scores, one garbage time touchdown. You just lost your bet.
You'd be surprised on how much garbage time there is in the NFL. Like, man,
meaningless touchdowns. I get a text.
Contracts. All about contracts.
I get a text from my ticket guy every week from every goddamn bad beat he ever everything he goes through, right? His entire roller coaster. I swear to God, he sent me a text after the Ravens and Steelers game. I was about to get in my car, drive to Illinois, and
I was here. It was true.
And just take him to a fucking clinic. I was like, bro, you have a problem. Oddly enough, I read the text incorrectly, and the McSorley touchdown actually won him his bet. And the Ravens covered on a meaningless touchdown. Yeah, so sometimes you can hit on it. It's got to go both ways. I had the Eagles. I picked the Eagles to cover in that game on Monday Night Football. They covered on a last-second Hail Mary play and a 2-point conversion that was absolutely meaningless. It meant nothing to the game. The game was over. But there they were, and they covered, and people made money, and people lost money. It's absolutely crazy.
You can as someone that is gambling, you need to really look at these teams and realize that the team itself might pack it in for the year or for the game, but these individuals are not, and they are still trying to get that extra touchdown, those extra yards, that extra catch,
contracts.
And if they have an opportunity, they're going to take it because that means more money in their pockets. So just realize it's not like college where, oh man, they lose, they're going to, they're out, and there's no reason to. Nope. Everybody is trying to always get as much as they can. So just keep in mind, and it's a lot more prevalent now. Like
you can earn an NFL contract playing 2 weeks in the NFL. Like that's it.
And film is always being put on in the NFL. So
who's the backup quarterback to Aaron Rodgers that got a crazy contract?
Matt Flynn.
Oh
my gosh.
He came in for like 4 quarters, 6 quarters in a season, and it got him millions.
It got him $50 million. It was from the Raiders. I remember that. That was very disappointing. For me, I'm going to say would I say Jacksonville doesn't cover?
If you think they get it within the 10.5, you'd say the Jacksonville covers. Yeah.
Okay, so Jacksonville is going to cover the 10.5. And then I'm going to say the under. I'm
with you.
I'm going to say Minnesota. They've actually been like steaming along. Like weren't they 1-5 at one point?
Oh yeah, maybe an Owen.
I remember I was calling for Mike Zimmer's head.
Yeah, we kind of all were. I mean, it was just he was in the news for the wrong reasons. The young girlfriend, the team's doing bad. He's talking shit about Cousins, optically it was not there.
Yeah, but they got it together. But the one thing I've seen is they seem to play down to their teams, and Jacksonville is one of those teams that people like to play down to, and Jacksonville kind of likes to throw some surprises. I mean, Mike Glennon was not expecting 2 touchdowns from him, but it happened, and they need to realize that it could happen against them too. And if they don't take them seriously, Jacksonville could walk away with the win. One thing I do want to note, 52% is on the under on OddsShark and 48% is on the over. 58% of the money is on Minnesota. So
it's a fair amount. I mean, as it probably should be, minus 475 on the money line. It's not like people are like, pounding the Jaguars drum this year. So yeah, give me the Vikings on the money line, maybe parlay it with the Dolphins game, Get you some value there.
Okay, I don't really like this. We're about to move on to the next game, and the Raiders apparently have more chance or whatever. Las Vegas Raiders is negative 7.5 against the New York Jets. I think that number should be reversed with Vikings and Jaguars.
Maybe.
So sometimes I don't get like what they're looking at to get these numbers because the Jets have been.
Because the Raiders are on the road and they're a road favorite. So if they were at home up against the Jets, they'd probably be at the 10.
Okay.
The Vikings are at home, and the books are still giving home field a really big piece of leverage on the lines.
I don't get that.
I don't either, but they are. That's a matter of the fact, But you can get some value out of that, right? So with the Raiders on the road, honestly, I would take them up to 10. I'll take the 7.5. But the big problem with the Raiders is they're missing Josh Jacobs. And the Jets, they just love to fling it. Bro Flacco, not going to be in the lineup today for the Jets. But Sam Darnold loves to just heave the ball around, and the Raiders don't have a great defense.
Yeah, I agree on that. So
I actually do like the over here. We're at 46.5.
46.5, so that's 23. Yeah, I would say that because it's going to be a lot of passing. I actually see Nelson Aguilar being like a big piece to this offense today. I don't know why.
He's healthy. He's good to go.
Him and Waller. They're probably gonna be real big, but
I like Hunter Renfrow this week too. I think he's going to be a sneaky
He's
start.
finally made it to your start list.
Yeah, this week.
Yeah.
Well, it's the New York Jets.
It's New York
It's
Jets.
the New York Jets.
I'll give you that.
Honestly, if my lineup was hurting enough, or if there were enough Jets banged up, I'd be willing to start Braxton Berrios this week.
Oh, here's something that might change your mind here.
Uh-oh.
Las Vegas is 0-6 straight up in their last 6 games when playing on the road against the New York Jets.
I'm not picking
What?
the Jets to win today.
What?
I'm still not picking the Jets to win today.
Well, what's the plus minus on that?
I don't know.
Oh, plus
How many
318.
times? I got to think like when the last time they played the Jets, though. When was the last time these divisions played? Gruden couldn't have been the coach.
I could not tell you.
Yeah.
Some other trends. Las Vegas is 4-1 straight up in their last 5 games against an AFC opponent.
Mm-hmm.
Total has gone over in 10 of Las Vegas' last 12 games against an AFC East opponent.
Okay.
And let me see. Total has gone under in 5 of New York Jets' last 7 games. They're 0-10. We already know that. Total has gone over in 5 of New York Jets' last 7 games against Las Vegas.
Okay.
I'm gonna go under. I'm just gonna say that Gase actually came out this week and said that he has not properly developed Darnold. Great, thank you for telling us that on the way out instead of saying it when you were when it was still redeemable.
Jesus Christ.
So please leave. But
go away.
The offense is not the same with Flacco and Darnold. It's just night and day difference. I don't know if it's Darnold. I don't know if it's Flacco. It's just very strange.
Bro, Flacco didn't look too bad with him. I'm not gonna lie. The last 2 games that he had with him, he was getting some offense out of the crew.
I think it's because Flacco is a veteran. And I think he's a very old veteran, to be completely honest, in the scheme of things.
Mm-hmm.
Darnold is basically like a rookie, and with Gase
I don't think Darnold likes Gase either.
Oh no, he definitely doesn't.
Yeah, I don't think there's good blood there.
But the offense is not the same. It's not as explosive with Darnold in there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say the under because the Jets won't be able to generate any points, and I don't think that the Raiders will be able to have what is the spread? The spread is
7.5.
7.5. Oh, total is 46. I don't think they have enough offense to get 47 points.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna say the under on this.
I'm gonna take the over. I need Derek Carr. I'm firing him up. I'm taking the Raiders on the money line. Give me all of Devontae Booker this week. I think he's going to be an awesome plug and play for everybody in fantasy. Could be making some people some money going to the playoffs. Give me some Hunter Renfrow. Give me some Darren Waller, and give me some Nelson Aguilar. The Jets. Yeah, you can start Frank Gore, I guess. About it.
Frank Gore is the only one worth it. He's been on my championship squad, just getting me nice 5 to 7 points every week. So yeah, I'm on the same boat as you.
Yeah, New York. They put Jamison Crowder on a cube of ice and they shipped him off into the bay. They said, "So long, sir.
Yep.
May you rest in peace." He's getting 1 catch, 3 catches. He's nothing. He's donezo.
What was that wide receiver coach fired?
I have no
That
idea.
guy probably is a scapegoat instead of Gase. They're like
the guy that said he's going to get 90 catches. Yep. Good reference. Good call. I forgot about that. Oh, man. I remember me and Jake Seeley getting into it on Twitter about Jamison Crowder earlier in the year. It was like, man, he is not going to be a championship roster player. Sorry. You're just kidding yourselves. Jamison Crowder, I had him last year. He came out of the gate rolling just as he did this year, and sure as shit, goodbye.
Yep.
On a cube of ice, set out to sea. So, yeah, fade all the Jets, but Frank Gore, he's viable. He's just getting run on the ground. So, are you starting him up in your 0 RB strategy?
Yeah.
Options?
I was just looking.
Yep.
He's in there right next to Philip Lindsay, so maybe I can get a half and a half out of him.
Yeah. You're going to need those receivers to go off.
Yeah. Really, my fucking quarterbacks have been saving my ass, and I got lucky getting Tyreek Hill and Patrick Mahomes 1 and 2.
Yep.
I just got real lucky. So I don't know how I did it this year, but I did it.
I'll take it.
Anyway.
But yeah, give me all Derek Carr and the Raiders. Fade the Jets per usual, except for Frank Gore. Keep it simple. It's week 13.
Yep. All right. Next one is New Orleans Saints versus Atlanta Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
Saints are only 2-point favorites.
Okay.
Minus 147, over under 45.5.
Okay. I'm going to take the Saints to cover here. I do believe that Taysom Hill is going to have to pass more this week, but I still think that they can win by a field goal or more. The Falcons, their best aspect of their defense is their rushing attack. So you would assume that it's going to be a little bit more difficult this week for Taysom Hill and company to run the ball, get the RPO going. I do think that Alvin Kamara is going to get used more in the passing game this week. There was a lot of disgruntled Alvin Kamara owners after the Broncos game, and I get that. But, as we were talking about with Emron on Thursday, they did not need Alvin Kamara to beat the Broncos with a quarterback who only completed one pass. Expect him to do a lot more this week. He's going to be in the lineup. Just keep it simple here. Give me the Saints to cover. I'll take him on the money line, but I think you can get more value on the spread. And, man, that total is a little worrisome, 45.5. I don't know.
I mean, I'm looking at the past 2 games with Taysom Hill, and the lines are 31-3 win and 24-29 Atlanta win. So they're playing Atlanta again. I'm going to say the Saints are going to cover. It's going to be more than 3 points. This offense, honestly, is just it's very different because it's not as vertical as other offenses, but it works for them, and they're still able to win. So keep doing what you're doing, man. Let Drew Brees rest up to get back to the playoffs. He probably come back like second round and just come back in and start dropping dimes for you. Taysom Hill probably catch one for you. But yeah, I mean, the Saints are kind of crazy, man. I did not expect this to happen. But also, I did not expect Taysom Hill to be more of a rusher. I did expect him to have some passing stats, but a lot of his ability has been on the run.
On the ground.
Yeah, and like I said last week when we were doing this preview, I did not see him blowing up the stat sheet, but I did see him getting like 1 to 2 rushing touchdowns. I think he got 2 again. Right?
He did. Yep.
Yeah, so like they just got something going on. Here's some stats. New Orleans is 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games. Okay. Total has gone under in 4 of New Orleans' last 5 games. That's more because of their defense. Also the other one.
They played the Broncos, who had a quarterback who made one pass.
But Atlanta, you have no fucking excuse here. And then they're 8-0 straight up in their last 8 games. They're 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 games against Atlanta. 11-1 straight up in the last 12 games on the road. That's impressive.
It's pretty solid, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. And then total has gone over in 5 of New Orleans' last 6 games played in December. Okay. So I'm going to say the total is going to go under because I just don't see Atlanta's offense. Like, they have the weapons. They have a quarterback. They have a what apparently is a top end running back, but their offense just cannot click to actually get wins. I'm gonna say under because I think the Saints defense is a lot better than what people give it credit for. And Taysom Hill's rushing ability will burn the clock and keep the ball out of Atlanta's hands, which will feed into that under. So I'm really gonna be hammering the under on this one. 64% is on the over. So one of the last weeks, one of the games was 90% on one team, and it was the biggest upset of the week. I think I forgot who it was, but that's what. Okay, I'm going to go contrarian here.
24-17 Saints. Yeah, I'll take the Saints on the spread. I'll take the under. Fantasy wise, you pretty much got to take everybody. I mean, the Saints are a juicy team, for fantasy options. Taysom Hill, Alvin Kamara, Mike Thomas, Manny Sanders, Jared Cook. I mean, you're pretty much firing up all these guys in a really good matchup up against the Falcons. I think you can sit Latavius Murray this week. I do not believe it's going to be a Latavius Murray, ran offense. I don't think he's going to be busting off the big ones this week. So give me all of Kamara, Thomas, Sanders, Cook, Taysom Hill. Gun to my head, yeah, I'll put him in my lineup. But I think in single quarterback leagues, you may have a better option. Who would you start this week, Taysom Hill or Derek Carr?
Derek Carr.
Yeah,
I'd better matchup.
I think I'd still go Derek Carr as well. Opposite of them. I'm not saying to start Matt Ryan, man. He has been bad. He has been bad this year. I cannot trust him in week 13, especially if I am trying to get into the playoffs. If you got your bye already locked up, if you're at the top, fine, do whatever. You don't have to really worry about it too much here. But if you're in the hunt, I do not trust him. I do not trust Todd Gurley. Give me just Calvin Ridley. I don't even trust Julio Jones. I don't trust Julio Jones this week. He could be active. He could be playing. I don't trust him.
What about Hurst?
I don't trust Hayden Hurst either.
Olamide Zaccheaus.
Nope. No Russ Gage.
Oof.
I like Calvin Ridley, and that's about it. Like, Todd Gurley could find the end zone on a goal line touch, but
or accidentally
when he's not supposed to. I do not love the Falcons this week. I do not. I'll take the under as well.
All right. Next matchup. Oops, I'm on the wrong one. Next matchup is Cleveland Browns versus Tennessee Titans. Browns are 4.5 underdogs, plus 190 on the money line. Over under 53 points.
Okay. I will take the Titans to cover 4.5. I think they win this one by a touchdown or two. I think there's a lot of Derrick Henry pounding the ground on the ball or pounding the ball on the ground. Give me the under 53. Tennessee Titans on the money line. Browns, I don't know. I don't love them on the road.
I just don't see them stopping Derrick Henry. Like, there's
I don't
just
either.
no one on their team besides like Myles Garrett, but he's on one side of the defense.
And I think Denzel Ward is also out here for the Browns. That's a bad spot. Going to be a lot of A.J. Brown going off this week. A.J. Brown's in a good spot. Corey Davis is in a good spot. They're missing Jonnu Smith, though. Does that prop up a little bit of value for a returning Adam Humphries?
More Berkshire.
Berkshire for sure.
Yeah. I mean, Adam Humphries, like, he's a slot receiver, but everybody and their mother knows that Tennessee Titans defense is Derrick Henry and the two receivers.
Right.
If Jonnu Smith's out, I'm going more Berkshire than Adam Humphries.
Okay.
That's just how I feel. Yeah, you are right. I didn't know Denzel Ward is out. That feeds hugely into the passing attack.
Tannehill's been really good, so yeah, it's going to be a big deal for that matchup.
Yep. So Cleveland's 8-2 straight up in their last 10 games. Impressive. Cleveland is 2-5 straight up in their last 7 games against Tennessee. They are 1-10 against the spread in their last 11 games on the road.
Never bet on the Browns to cover.
Yep.
My God.
Total has gone under 4 of Cleveland's last 5 games when playing on the road against Tennessee. And then here's some Tennessee trends. Tennessee is 11-4 straight up in the last 15 games. Total has gone over in 9 of Tennessee's last 12 games at home. And they are 14-5 straight up in the last 19 games against an AFC opponent.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just taking the Titans here. Taking them on the money line. I think it's pretty simple. Browns, they're going to be really on the road. Defense isn't going to be there. Give me all of Tannehill, Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, Corey Davis, Anthony Berkshire, and I will say in some deeper formats, if you're looking for a wide receiver streaming option, fire up some Adam Humphries. Touchdown dependent option, but I think you might potentially find pay dirt in this one. The over and the under is difficult for me because I do think the Titans could put up big numbers in this game. They have them at 28.5 points. I could see the Titans putting up 30 here.
Yeah.
I just don't trust the Browns offense right now because they got Nick Chubb too. Nick Chubb can pound the ball into the ground too.
But Nick Chubb will definitely get you the yardage you need, but won't get you the touchdown. You know, like he made the right decision in that moment. I'm having trouble believing that Cleveland is really going to pop off this week. Tennessee did lose Jadeveon Clowney. Not that he's been doing anything, but it's still a body that's gone. I'm having trouble with Cleveland, man. Tennessee is rolling pretty hard. The person that Cleveland's success is going to be based on is Baker Mayfield. And if Baker can start getting it together, start putting together those franchise quarterback games, then the Browns can be a serious contender because they do have the pieces and they do have a team, but it's just so up in the air right now. Like, you know, you won a game 10-3, and that's kind of hard to look at. I mean, the weather was bad and stuff, but still, it's just
it shows resilience and everything, and it does show some discipline on both sides of the ball because no matter what, it's a football game. You got to play 4 quarters. There's always going to be 60 minutes to play. So 10-3. To me, it's just that's a football game, right? Bad weather. It was like that for a couple weeks actually. They had
like 3 straight weeks of bad weather.
Yeah, it was the Houston game, and then it was the Raiders. Yeah, it was a mess. I am not trusting them this week. I will start up some Nick Chubb. I will start up some Kareem Hunt. That's the identity of their offense. Jarvis Landry had a nice little week last week. Has a good matchup up against the Titans secondary that's pretty meh. So I'll fire those guys up. But beyond that, no Austin Hooper for me. No thanks. Just really touchdown dependent. Baker doesn't have enough volume for me to get him onto the field. For the Titans, Henry, Berkshire, Davis, Brown, Tannehill, fire them all up here and give me the Titans to cover.
Yep. All right, next matchup is at least go to that one. So New York Giants, Seattle Seahawks. New York Giants are plus 10.5, plus 420 on the money line. Seattle's minus 525, over under 47.
Okay. Let me ask you this really quick. Can the Seahawks just blow them out?
Yeah.
I'm talking like 20-point win here.
Yep.
Okay.
Because Darius Slayton is a joke. Like, he should have.
Well, they have Colt McCoy at quarterback.
It doesn't matter. Daniel Jones. sorry, Steffi Smalls. I know you're in love with Daniel Jones on Twitter, but man, Daniel Jones and
you were in love with Daniel Jones on Twitter. Not that long ago.
But
Danny Dumbbells.
Well, that was at the beginning of the season. Then I started seeing what was occurring, and I saw how Darius Slayton wasn't getting any points.
I was a high on Marquise Brown too. I mean, and then we saw the season.
Darius Slayton, that MF got me at 0 points, and he was projected 10 points, 10.9 points.
Come on,
like it's killing me. And the Giants, their offense is really nothing without Saquon Barkley. I like what they're doing with their program and their organization. I think that they have a very bright future as long as Saquon is healthy. But man, I definitely see DK and Rush just blowing out New York Giants. And it's not even the New York Giants secondary is bad. It's just the entire team itself is just struggling.
Yeah, their secondary, their defense is kind of like middle of the run. Like, you know, it's just like
individually they're good though. Like James Bradbury, he was a great pick for him. Blake Martinez, great pickup for him. It's just everywhere else there's a lot of holes.
They added Jabril Peppers, Xavier McKinney. I like a lot of these guys
too.
Yeah, I like these guys. It's just that you know, their defense is just kind of middle of the run. I see the Seahawks hopefully going off because I got Russ and Lockett in a nice little DFS matchup. I'm hoping that they don't try to bury the ball in the ground because that's the strength of the New York Giants defense is their rushing attack. Their up front group, Blake Martinez has really elevated that group actually. Their front seven's pretty strong. They showed that in the previous weeks. So I'm not trying to roll out, you know, Hyde or Carson right into that. And that's what's tough for me is starting Carson and Hyde in this week. Like, do you pick one? Do you start both? Like, I'm good with starting Carson, not so much Hyde.
Hyde's just been leeching some touchdowns and some yardage, and it's just hard because it's like man, Carson should be getting that.
But I feel like another week back, Carson should be good. You know, he got some rest this week. They weren't trying to overload him in practice, so I will take the Seahawks on the spread. I don't typically like these big numbers, but I don't see the Giants necessarily being a team that does get that garbage time touchdown. Like, I could see the Seahawks being up 17 or 18 plus and the Giants not getting the garbage time touchdown. So I'll take Seahawks on the money line. I will take them on the spread. And man, this total, I'll take the total because I think that the Seahawks can actually score 30 points themselves, like 34 points. So I'll take the over too.
New York Giants are 7-4 against the spread this year, by the way. So just so you know,
good on them. Good on them.
And
good teams win, great teams cover. So maybe they pull this one out.
Yeah,
on the cover.
But New York Giants are 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games against Seattle. They're also 4-1 straight up against Seattle.
Interesting.
They are 8-1 against the spread in their last 9 games on the road.
Wow. Look at the Giants covering on the road.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Total has gone over in 6 of New York Giants' last 7 games played in December.
Cool. Helps.
Seattle is 8-3 straight up in their last 11 games. They are 5-0 straight up in their last 5 games at home.
Okay.
And total has gone under in 4 of Seattle's last 6 games against an NFC opponent.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm still going to floor the over here. What do you think?
With Colt McCoy probably being the quarterback, I just don't see the Giants offense generating any points. Like, it's just so hard for them to generate points. And even with Daniel Jones in, they were still struggling. I mean, they just started popping off last week against Cincinnati, and a hamstring just went toast. Like, it's very hard for them to get a momentum going. I'm going to say Seattle just blows them the F out. And I'm going to say the under, though. I'm going to say it's not going to be like, it might be like 28-3, something like that.
Shit. Ouch.
Yeah. I mean, look, Colt McCoy only has great games in Dallas. So that's just what I've noticed from being
they're not playing in Dallas this week.
They're not playing in Dallas.
News update.
So, you're not in Kansas anymore, Dorothy. So I think that's going to affect the game, and I don't think he's going to have the same magic. Colt McCoy won't have the same magic that we've seen in the past.
Yeah, I'm only starting Wayne Gallman for the Giants.
Oh yeah, Wayne Gallman.
I'm not even trying to get into the Evan Ingram conversation. No Sterling Shep, no Darius Slayton, just Wayne Gallman. Seahawks, give me Carson, Russ, Lockett, Metcalf. You starting any tight ends there? I'm going to say no.
I think Russ is just going to bomb them.
It's too big of a week, and with guys like Kyle Rudolph and Anthony Ferkshire on your waiver wires, those are the guys you need to be targeting. Not trying to pick what random Seahawks tight end is going to go off, or what random Colts tight end, or what random Houston tight end is going to go off. Pick these guys that have that available role and opportunity to put up some real volume this week. Yeah, keeping it simple there. Just give me the Seahawks on the money line. Nick gave me enough information to scare me away from the Giants on the spread. So, yeah, just give me the Seahawks money line parlayed with something else, mix it up, and I'll still take the over. I think the Giants can put up some points. I think Gallman can get a touchdown or two.
All right. Next matchup is going to be the Los Angeles Rams and the Arizona Cardinals.
Okay.
Right now, it is Rams are 2.5 favorites.
It's a close game.
On the money line,
Really close
minus
game.
140, Arizona plus 120, and then over under is 48.5.
Man, this is a tough game to pick. I like the over. I like the over 48.5. I think that's the easy money if there is such a thing in this matchup. And man, I don't like anyone money line. I guess I'll just take the Cardinals because they're the plus option at home.
You want some trends?
Yeah, I'll take some trends. I'm just trying to kind of get ahead of it. Just, like what I think before here. Like we see the Rams, they're projected 24.5. The Cardinals are at 23.5. They're looking at a close game here. So I think you avoid the spread here. I think you just pick your winner. I don't think you try to get cute with it on the points.
I'd go reverse with your thinking.
Okay, that's fine. Go ahead.
And that's what I was saying. Like,
yeah.
Some trends because you were going over the total. So, total has gone under in 7 of the Rams' last 8 games.
Okay.
Total has gone under in 4 of Rams' last 5 games this season. Total has gone under in 6 of Rams' last 7 games against an NFC opponent. And they're 5-0 against the spread when playing on the road against Arizona. Arizona is 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 games. They're 0-5 against the spread in their last 5 games when playing at home against the Rams. And total has gone under in 5 of Arizona's last 7 games against an NFC opponent.
Okay.
So
you're on the Rams.
Yeah, I'm gonna go on the Rams.
All right. Make a dollar holler on this one.
I'm gonna go Rams. I'm gonna go under, and I'm gonna say that the Rams do cover.
Okay.
Based on the trend.
So the Rams are gonna win by 3.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to take the Cardinals, nothing on the spread. So just the Cardinals to win, and I'm going to take the over. I just think there's way too much offense here in this matchup, and I think it's going to be a lot of vertical offense because I do think the Cardinals come out of the gates, they get their couple of touchdowns, and the Rams are playing catch up. And if it's not, like say it's the opposite way, say the Rams are up even better because I know the Cardinals will put the pedal to the metal and they'll floor it and they'll just let Kyler go out there and start chucking it up, and that will be very trendy to the over. So yeah, give me the Cardinals on the money line, and I'll take the over 48.5 points here. What do you think for the fantasy options here? Is there a Rams running back that you're willing to start?
Well, we're starting Cam Akers in our DFS.
Okay.
So I'd start him. It's kind of weird to say this because I'm betting for him to score touchdowns, but I'm not high on DeAndre Hopkins this week because Jalen Ramsey is probably going to be shadowing him. I'd be a lot higher on Kirk and Andy Isabella. Those guys are going to be getting a lot more looks.
Larry Fitzgerald is out of the lineup still with COVID, I believe.
Oh, man, that sucks.
Yeah,
I didn't know he got COVID.
Well, that just kind of props up your take on Isabella and Kirk is there's more availability for those guys. Isabella played 60% of the snaps last week, so some value for you there in potentially DFS or just your waivers if someone like that is still sitting there available. Kind of similar like the Adam Humphries start this week, in my opinion. So yeah, give me all the Rams I can get. I mean, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods. I'll take Cam Akers, and I'm starting Jared Goff here, man.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question here. I got Jared Goff in my lineup. I got Lamar Jackson sitting there on the bench for a Tuesday game. Or I'm sorry, is it Monday game?
Tuesday.
Is it Tuesday?
Yeah, it's right.
Oh shit, Tuesday game. I gotta keep Jared Goff in there, right? I mean, I'm going for it.
I would roll with Lamar. The Dallas.
You're killing me, man.
The Dallas defense is one of the worst rushing defenses in the league.
I know it, but I don't even know if Lamar's going to play in that game.
That is true.
How could I risk Goff today? Like Goff.
I forgot.
He plays at 4:05 Eastern time. So if I get really confident, concrete information by 4:05 Eastern time, then maybe I can make
just rock Goff, dude. Just rock Goff and not think about it.
That's what I've been doing. I've been trying to keep my head in that lane. I've been trying to stay in that lane, but man, it's really, really hard. I went out and I got Lamar Jackson for this specific reason. His Week 13 schedule and on. I said my team is good enough. I can get to Week 13 or Week 12 and be in that playoff position. Here I am. I've made it. I got the matchup that I wanted. Lamar week 13. I got him with Marquise Brown. I got Gus down there in the rock. I got to sit them all. I'm sitting Marquise Brown too.
Yeah, Marquise Brown is terrible.
I mean, he got that touchdown from McSorley last week, but
Don't care.
It was a broken play. End of the game. Didn't matter.
Yep.
Like, I cannot feel good or lend any confidence to the Ravens this week. Believe me, I want to make the playoffs, and then I can just ride out Lamar into the sunset, beat your ass in the playoffs with your loaded quarterbacks. Well, whatever. I mean, that's what I need to like go toe to toe with the bigger teams. You know,
Yeah.
I can't rely on
Strategy's falling apart right now.
Goff and Carr. Like, look what they did to me last week. Look at the position that they put me in.
Yeah,
you know, like I was right. I had a good matchup last week, and they just fucking buried me with goose eggs. Carr had Carr finished with like 0.34. Goff finished with negative points. Both of them had like 3 fumbles combined, 4 interceptions. Like, this is why I traded for a guy in Lamar Jackson. So we'll see what happens. But with this matchup, I still feel good. I am starting Goff. Give me all the Rams. No Malcolm Brown or Henderson, though. Akers has just popped off. He's the dude.
Yeah.
For the Cardinals, I'll take Drake. I'll take Kyler. I'll take Hopkins, Murray. Or I'm sorry, Murray and Isabella and Kirk.
I saw something on Twitter that says that Kyler Murray looks like the toddler who stole some candy.
Yeah, he kind of
when he
does.
runs.
Yeah, he kind of does.
That kind of made me laugh. But yeah, I feel the same way about all your starts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be a regular NFC West game. It's going to be pretty hard hitting probably, and they're both fighting for a spot in the playoffs. So I mean, it's going to be a close game
for the division, no less. For the division, no less.
You want to go to the next one?
Yes, please.
All right, so we got hold on. Yep, we got Philadelphia versus the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
Philadelphia is 8-point underdogs, plus 335 on the money line, and over under is 49.5.
Man, I'm gonna take the under.
You're gonna take the under.
I'm starting the Packers defense in DFS. I like them a lot this week. Fading all my Eagles on the road. All Wentz, the receivers. Miles Sanders is the only guy with a pulse there, in my opinion, and even him. Like he's not trending that great this week. I mean, the matchup is right for the Packers, but the Packers, they're going to hose these guys. This is another potential blowout in my opinion. I think the Packers could win this one big. The only upside I give the Eagles is their rushing attack on defense. So their defensive pressure is going to be all over Rodgers, who was very happy that he wasn't sacked at all last week. I do think he goes to the ground 3 or 4 times. I like some Eagles sack props.
They lost their center. Packer lost their center.
Yeah, but you know what though? Who is this guy that they were talking?
Elton Jenkins.
Elton, yeah,
that guy is a beast,
and
man.
they've been moving him around.
Yep, he had like 60 snaps on offense last week. 44 were from the center position, which he hadn't played since college, and let up 0 sacks. Like those kind of numbers, like get me off. Like I love those.
But they've moved him around from
guard to center to tackle and back.
And they keep saying every time that they put him at a new position, oh, this must be his best position. Why didn't we play him here? And then they move him to another position just out of need. It's not like out of like, oh, well, hey, like, no, you suck. Well, we're going to move you over here. It's like, no, we got a hole. We got somebody that can fill that spot. Come over here. Oh, wow. He looks really good at this spot. Let's move him again. Oh, he looks really good. So it looks like they got a fucking steal with this guy.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, the Green Bay Packers offensive line room, they actually had figured out how to actually block the new age defensive linemen, because defensive linemen were coming like straight up into it. And I played offensive line in high school. That's where you're supposed to go to like grab their pads. It's technically holding, but not holding. But now when the defensive linemen come at them with their hands, the linemen hold their hands back while they're waiting for them to come up. And then as soon as they hit their chest, they put their hands up and break their hands up. And that's how they start blocking. The Green Bay Packers have figured it out. Elton Jenkins fell into a great situation, and he has become the Packer like mold. Like they have David Bacardi, they have Corey Lindsey, now they have Elton Jenkins, and it's just, man, it's just becoming a factory there. And you know, Wisconsin Badgers, everybody knows Wisconsin Badgers linemen. It's like a definite factory.
Towers,
corn fed.
You were giving me and Emron a hard time about talking up the Bears for so long in that Thursday show. I don't know if you stuck around to hear us claim who was going to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl.
Who?
The Packers. We spent about a good half hour.
Oh man, I can't believe I missed that.
Yeah, we're talking up the Packers. How
must have been really sour for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, we were doing some Rodgers
Okay.
some Rodgers talk. We were blowing off some Aaron Rodgers for sure. He's just looked really good. I think it's going to be another week where he's making fantasy owners pretty happy. So I'm flooring all the Packers this week. Give me Rodgers, even Jamal Williams. Give me, of course, Devontae Adams, MVS. I don't know if I dig much deeper than that.
Lazard.
Sorry.
Lazard definitely got some work.
Actually, yeah, give me Lazard actually over MVS, actually. With him coming back, that's been kind of the role.
Tanyan's a target. He will get some touches, but he's very touchdown dependent.
I don't like him in this matchup. He's just so up and down.
Yeah,
he's just so up and down every week. Like, it could be Jay Sternberger getting a random touchdown. Who's the other guy that they have there getting random touchdowns in the tight end room?
I was going to say Richard Rodgers, but he's Philadelphia. It's Mercedes Lewis.
Mercedes Lewis, that's who it is. Yeah, you just don't know who's going to come down with the touchdown and the tight end carousel for the Packers. Believe me, I'm a Rob Tonyan guy. I got him on my bench, but I had him behind Hawkinson for most of the year, and Hawkinson was a little bit more reliable, at least finding pay dirt. The volume wasn't always there for him, and they've kind of traded weeks. Who's gotten better, who hasn't? So I don't know if this is a Rob Tonyan week, especially coming off of last week's performance. The Eagles, though, nah. Miles Sanders and nothing else. I'm sorry. I don't trust any of them. I think it's a blow-up spot for the Packers. I think they put up a lot of points this week.
If Green Bay loses to Philadelphia, it's going to be a real big upset. It's going to shake the core of what's happening in the NFL because everybody's out on Philadelphia pretty much, and everybody's pretty much in on Green Bay. And this would be a great upset, but I just don't see Philadelphia putting together the pieces for this week. And Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. There's really nothing you can do about that.
A-Rod's going to do A-Rod stuff.
Next matchup is New England versus Los Angeles. So this is basically a pick 'em. New England is 1.5 favorite or 1.5 underdogs. Plus 102 on the money line. Over under 47. Give me the over on this.
Yeah, I think we can hit the over here. I think that the Chargers defense is bad enough to let the Patriots actually have some offense today. I think Cam Newton could actually do some things in the passing game, even maybe not, throw just 12 passing attempts and 2 interceptions. I think it could be a respectable stat line for Cam Newton today. Now, what I just said, please don't interpret that as I'm going to put Cam Newton in my fantasy lineup. That's not what I said.
Yeah.
You're not trusting Cam Newton in week 13. I do trust Justin Herbert despite the matchup, despite the secondary, despite the upside of the Patriots defense. I'm still saying to start Justin Herbert. He is coming off his worst performance in fantasy on the year. Kind of took him a while, no? Kind of took him a long time. Week 12.
For a rookie? Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's been awesome. So I got to keep throwing him out there. The passing volume is there. He only had like 11 or 14 passing or fantasy points last week on 51 passing attempts. I think that he's going to be passing the ball a lot this week. I will take all of his volume. This game is really too close for me to pick, though.
I got some trends for you that can help.
I'm not gonna. Honestly, I'm just not gonna make a pick. I think the Patriots can upset here. Or before the season started, I picked the Patriots to win this game. I said their back end schedule was going to be pretty light and that they should be taking advantage of that. I think that they can win, but it's just too close for me.
Los Angeles is 0-5 against the spread in their last 5 games.
Yeah, but they're just bad.
Yeah, I mean, but that could be something for you.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's just that they're in every game. It could just be a game that they win stupidly,
Yeah, New England is 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 games on the road. Total's gone under in 5 of New England's last 5 games when playing on the road against the LA Chargers. But they don't have Justin Herbert in those past games.
Right.
And then New England is 7-3 in their last 10 games against an opponent in the AFC West.
Okay.
I got New England covering. I think that it's just going to be a classic, 2020 classic Chargers loss. I think that Cam Newton is going to have, one of his better games. And, I thought that the Patriots defense had better passing yard rankings, but they're really middle of the pack. And
the Patriots?
Yeah.
For passing?
14th in passing yards allowed. And then LA
They did lose Gilmore for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, and then Los Angeles is second in passing yards. So that's going to be a big play. Anthony Lynn just needs to get the fuck out of Herbert's way.
Or out of Los Angeles.
Yeah, and he's just hindering everything going on around there. I feel like if he wasn't there, Mike Williams would be a greater second option instead of throwing 20 balls to Keenan Allen. Give 5 more to Mike Allen. You might have a couple more deep shots available. I don't know. I'm just watching from my couch though. That's just how I feel. But I see them having a classic loss against Bill Belichick because Belichick is just a way better coach. Like it's going to be a coach against coach game instead of player against player or team against team.
Mm-hmm. I'll still take the over there. The coach on coach games are typically the unders. Slow, grind them out, chess matches. But I'm going to take the over here. I think there's enough points. 27-24. Who's your winner? Patriots.
Yeah, Patriots.
Yeah. Wait, is Nick Folk out?
Yeah. Oh no, he's a game time decision.
Okay.
He's with Big Ben.
That's going to play a role.
Yeah.
If he's out or not, not right.
So 39% of the money is on the under, 61% is on the over. I'm playing contrarian we're going to play contrarian. I'm going to say under, but New England's going to cover the spread.
All right, fair enough.
Write it out kind of game, I feel.
Win by 2. I got you. I want to keep it simple there. Yeah, just give me all the Chargers and fantasy relevant guys. Eckler, Williams, Allen, Herbert. Give me all those guys. For the Patriots, no Cam. I'm not starting a running back. If you gun to my head, I'll start James White as a running back there. I think this is going to be an offensive matchup, so I think they're going to need him with Burkhead still out. And
who's the perfect person?
Jacoby Myers.
N'Keal Harry. No, I'm just kidding.
No, not N'Keal.
That guy has been a real big disappointment. I was looking at football cards yesterday.
Not N'Keal Harry.
I have his rookie card, and I just looked at it and was just like, man, you're probably one of the bigger disappointments.
Where did you go?
Yeah, like one thing that I will say about Bill Belichick is he is horrible at drafting wide receivers and developing them. Like almost every single receiver he's drafted in the first round, Chad Jackson and N'Keal Harry, haven't panned out. And the receivers that have come in or done well are guys that have started literally from the bottom at Walmart and worked their way up, or has been Randy Moss and just come in and had the talent.
Yeah,
so that's one big weak spot that I've kind of it just popped in my head this week.
So you're saying AJ Green needs to go to the Patriots, revive his career?
I could say I would say that New England, you could definitely revive your career, but if you're a rookie receiver, I would not be happy going to New England because it just doesn't seem like they're developed correctly. And I don't know what it is because N'Keal Harry had every physical skill and ability to do it. I watched him at Arizona State. I thought he was like the greatest thing since sliced bread. And then he goes to New England. I'm like, oh man, this is perfect. He's for Bill Belichick. And it's done absolutely nothing since. And it's just very frustrating. That's just one thing I've noticed about New England. Sorry.
I would love New England to go out and get Ryan Fitzpatrick and Julio Jones this offseason. Could you imagine that?
Oh, my gosh.
Imagine that year.
Oh, my gosh.
N'Keal Harry coming out of the slot.
I mean, I don't think it'll be N'Keal Harry. I think it'll be Julian Edelman. I think he'll come back for one more year if that happens. But
oh, God.
I don't know.
Our wide receiver 7 from 2019 – wide receiver $1.4 billion in 2020, Julian Edelman, bastard. Yeah, maybe that's the case. I don't know. I think Edelman needs to hang it up.
Yeah, I get you on that.
Dude is he's just done, man. I mean, he's so banged up all the time. Even last year, he's hurt. The year before that, he's always hurt.
I mean, that's what happens to slot receivers in New England. Wes Welker, he had that same kind of like fade out as well.
He's going to be 35 this year, I think, or next year he'll be 35 or 36. Like, man. Come on, man. Like, we're done. Pack it in.
You've done, Edelman, please. You've done very well considering your career, considering your draft position. You've done very well. You don't have to prove anything to anybody else, man. Just go run marathons or something.
Go run marathons or something. Yeah,
like Alan Faneca. Let me see. So the next one that we have up, are we doing the Monday game? Sorry.
Yeah, we're doing the Monday game.
So Denver Broncos against Kansas City. Denver is 13-point underdogs, plus 665. And Kansas City.
They just didn't want to make it plus 666 or what?
Yeah, seriously. Kansas City is minus 925, over under 51. What do you think? What's your thoughts on that?
I'm gonna take the under, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I don't think the Broncos are gonna do much. They're just getting their quarterbacks back. I don't know what type of flow that they're gonna have. I see a lot of Noah Fant in this game. See a lot of Phillip Lindsay. I think they try to play keep away with the Chiefs because the Broncos don't have an offense that can go toe-to-toe with the Chiefs. So I don't think you try to beat them at their own game. I think you try to play keep away, sound defense, lean on your running backs if that's a thing that you can even do. Probably not. So, yeah, give me a lot of Noah Fant, Tim Patrick in this game. I mean, honestly, those are the only fantasy options I feel comfortable with. And I think it could be a sneaky under here, kind of like similar to like the Seahawks game. You reference like a 28-3 type of thing. I think it could be something similar.
I would definitely lean on your running backs or if I was Denver, I would definitely lean on the running backs because Kansas City is 24th in the league in rushing yards allowed. There's
some opportunity there.
There's definitely some opportunity. Garrett Bowles, he's coming into his own at the offensive tackle position. He's like number one. And I remember last year he was considered a bust because I kept track of him because he played lacrosse. That was one of his stories. So I definitely stayed in contact with him. But, they're not like I have Lindsey on my team and he's just not popping off. Like he'll have one run like 53 yards and he hasn't had a run over 20 cents. Like it's just very hard. And Kansas City's defense, they do have like Chris Jones. That's very solid on the inside. Yeah. But they need to figure out how to get this rushing attack going because Drew Lock can't pass for 60 times in a game and be successve.
Drew Lock is definitely going to turn the ball over at some point in this game.
Probably twice.
Potentially twice, yes.
I'm going to say twice. And it's just, Jerry Jeudy's coming off an injury. I'm very high on him, but I mean,
he's going to play.
It's Kansas City, man.
He's locked into the lineup, but man, the Broncos, they're just showing how much they really need a Courtland Sutton.
The last game that they played was October 25th. It was 43-16 Kansas City. So now it's with like a full squad, I believe.
43-16 does hit the over there on the 51. That would hit the over, but I don't know. I'm just not betting on the Broncos bouncing back after that really, really bad Week 12 with Hinton at quarterback. I don't believe that Drew Lock or I don't know any of their quarterbacks is going to come in and do well. I mean, for all we know, we could see multiple quarterbacks in this game. I don't know the extension of their COVID issues, right? If it was just a flare up and they just had to be out that week or whatever it was.
You didn't know what caused it, so
no, actually, I don't.
Oh, so what happened was that there was a meeting in the quarterback room, and Jeff Driscoll had tested positive for COVID.
Suck it, Driscoll.
I didn't know this, but the NFL teams are filming everywhere so that they can look back and do this evidence stuff. And they saw that there was. The way that they described it was that there was an issue with masks at one point in the meeting with Driscoll. Locke and Rippon did not have it, but they weren't wearing their masks. So they were considered high risk and basically took them out of the game. It didn't matter if they were positive or negative. They were high risk for it. So that's why it was really a precaution that they were taking out. And I also remember that Denver was trying to get an offensive coach to be the quarterback because he had the best grasp on the offense. But the NFL said no because they don't want coaches to become a storage place for players if this were to happen. So, I mean, that made complete sense. And that's why Hinton was basically raised from practice squad to starting QB in a single day.
What happened to Royce Freeman being the quarterback? Like that went from like Royce Freeman to Jerry Jeudy's going to become Lamar Jackson to whoever this Hinton guy is as quarterback.
They probably were scared that Lindsey might hurt himself. And they would have to
Royce?
No, Lindsey. Lindsey has been getting hurt almost every game, and Royce Freeman has had to fill in with Melvin Gordon. But imagine if Lindsey goes down and there's no one to fill in for the goal line, and you have Freeman at quarterback. So that's why they chose someone else. It's just
it was bad.
It's a hard situation in Denver.
It was bad.
Yeah, and I don't see them. I honestly don't see them scoring more than 14 points. They scored 3 against New Orleans, but they didn't have a quarterback.
Right.
They scored 13 against Miami. They scored 12 against Los Angeles in a loss. They did score
12 up against Los Angeles.
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas, sorry. That's still bad.
Even bad.
That's bad.
And then 27 points against Atlanta, but they don't have a defense. They did score.
That's their best, most recent game. How many weeks ago was that? 5?
5, but they beat the Chargers 31-30
6 weeks ago.
Yeah, and that was the week that Drew Lock was considered the worst quarterback in the AFC West, which is technically true.
Right now,
and then Kansas City 16 points in a 16-43 loss. So, and even New England 18-12. They're not generating many points on their offense. I'm going to say max 17 points from them. I'm probably seeing more 14-10.
Yeah, I'm taking the under here, under the 51 points. Obviously, you're firing up all of your Chiefs, all of Mahomes, Hill, Kelsey. Oh, I don't know about Clyde Edwards-Helaire, though. Nick and I were talking about this before the show started. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, been sick the past 3 days. They have Lev Bell there. The Raiders have kind of gone by the wayside. The Chiefs really have the division locked up. Do they need Clyde Edwards-Helaire this week? I don't think they do.
Yeah, so
I don't think they do.
So I had mentioned to Justin about a sit or start question I got from Instagram from my friend Zaudy Coke. He had asked me, "Hey, Gibson, Taylor, or CEH?" And I said only one CEH. Pitt's gonna kill Gibson. I'd play anyone against Pitt, and Taylor's odd man out if you're playing two. He literally just texted me while we were filming 8 minutes ago and said, he said, "Man, they're saying CEH a game time decision for a Sunday night game. Now I got a problem." He said he thinks it's a stomach virus. He might bench him for Taylor. I don't know. I'm going to play Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He has been solid. He's made me eat my words since the beginning of the season. Gibson, he is a legit player, but it's against the Pitt defense, and he plays for Washington, so they can fail him at any time. It's never for him. If he ever fails, it's never his skill. It's always what's going on around him, I feel. But yeah,
I'm gonna take Gibson there. I think Jonathan Taylor is a good option. Here's the thing with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. You got some good news and you got some bad news, and it's really all around the same theme, and that's the 8:20 Eastern start, right? So the good news is Sunday night. You got time. His stomach can get better, right? Can pound down the Tums, do whatever. Here's the problem. It's been 3 days. Stomach issues, 3 days are a problem. If you have a stomach issue and it's been lingering for 3 days, you haven't been doing anything for 3 fucking days. When you got the shits, you got the shits, bro. I mean, I'm sorry.
I'm not running.
Yeah, exactly. Like now, if it was like a 1 or 2 day thing, I wouldn't think anything of it. Like I really wouldn't. I would. In fact, I would say they're full of shit. He's not sick. They're just giving him a rest day. They're full of it. 3 days in a row with a stomach virus just nerve wracks me. The second part of that, like the bad news is the 8:20 start. You have no idea, man. You have no idea. So with the Ravens game, or I'm sorry, the where is it? The football team. Where are they at? Are they not on the board here?
They're off.
They're on Monday night? No, they're Gibson. Gibson is for the football team. They're playing the
why did
Steelers.
We not go over?
They're just not on the board probably because they don't know about Connor and they don't know about Big Ben.
It got rescheduled.
Yeah.
Or something like that. And I remember because the DFS game that we played, it got rescheduled. So I was like, man, why is that off?
So they're off that board, and we do need to get to that game so that we can actually cover it here on the board here. But I'm still going Gibson. I mean, you'll have time to actually go back and forth between the two. You'll have to make a decision essentially between Taylor, if Taylor's going to be the guy or if you're going to wait out those other two options, because you can wait out Gibson and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. You have to start Taylor at a 1 p.m. start on Sunday.
Yeah.
So I would put him at the bottom of those three. I would put Helaire and Gibson at the top and just kind of remove Taylor. Taylor has a good option. It's a good matchup, but you have Hines and Wilkins there. And Frank Reich, who's a piece of shit.
And Taylor also has issues with vision. And I haven't seen him corrected. He's had some good runs, but, it's wide open holes.
They're bringing in Jacoby Brissett for fucking goal line touches.
Yeah, that should not be happening.
It's nerve-wracking, and I don't trust the Colts offense. That's why I'm not starting Trey Burton. I get the reasons why too, but I don't trust their offense because it's a carousel every week. It could be Hilton. It could be Pittman. It could be fucking Marcus Johnson coming down with a touchdown for the receivers. Mo Alley Cox, Jack Doyle, Trey Burton, Hines, Wilkins, Taylor, we don't know, right? So I like Helaire and Gibson more, but I still like Gibson more. I like Gibson. I like Gibson over Helaire. One, because Hilaire's on a stomach issue. It's a deal here. The Steelers, I was talking about this with Nick before the show. If they don't have Ben, if I knew that Ben was going to be out of that game, Gibson would be in there hands down, because the Steelers, they don't need to go undefeated. They want to make a Super Bowl run, and it's not happening without Ben Roethlisberger. Okay, so if he gets pulled at the last minute, and not necessarily a meaningless game, but a game where they're on 5 days rest, the team hasn't had a bye, and their quarterback and their running back one are banged up. Is this a must-win game for the Steelers? I think not. Their defense isn't going to think that. Believe me, J.J. Watt and company's not going to think that. T.J. Watt, sorry. But Gibson and company, I'm all about them. They need a win. The football team need a win. They're in their division. The Steelers got it all but locked up. They're thinking Super Bowl. The football team's thinking a win in week 13. So I'm going Gibson there.
You have a lot of
stock
in Washington football team, and I realized that towards the end of your talk.
I guess so. I mean, I got more to the Gibson drum I've been banging.
Yeah. I mean, I'm banging the Gibson drum too, and I completely understand that if they don't have Big Ben in, it will be a completely different game. But that matchup is the Washington defense and
Mhm.
the Pittsburgh offense.
Mhm.
The Pittsburgh defense doesn't have Big Ben at one of their positions. They're still going to stop Antonio Gibson. I will play Antonio Gibson against anybody in the goddamn NFL
Mhm.
besides the Pittsburgh Steelers because their defense is so legit and there's very little help outside of Antonio Gibson. I'm not knocking on him. He's a very good player. I definitely think that your prediction of him being Matt Forte is spot on. I definitely believe
I will make a $5 holler here. A $5 holler that Antonio Gibson rushes for over 85 yards in this game.
Done. I'll take it.
$5 holler.
Done. I will take that.
I'm making a stand with Antonio Gibson this week. I hope he puts one in everyone's eyes that doubts him this week because it's a big week.
I will pay that $5.
It's a big week for the football team. They're definitely hunting for a win. I guess we'll just kind of cover that game since it's a doubleheader on Monday. Technically, they're going to be playing before the Bills in that one. So if Ben plays, I'll take the Steelers to win. If he doesn't play, I'm taking the football team to win.
I can understand.
Obviously, we need more information, and so does what was your buddy's name?
Sorry.
Your buddy with the Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Gibson.
Oh, Zoddy.
Realistically, Zoddy, you got to wait and you got to see. I mean, you got a Sunday night and a Monday night game. You got to wait for more info on Clyde, and if it's not looking positive, then you need to be making that switch to Gibson. But you need to be checking out of John Taylor, and I think we can kind of agree on that.
Yeah, he's odd man out.
That those two should be the options, just going into the Sunday and into the Monday night.
Yep.
Okay, so we can at least agree on that. If Ben plays in this game, I think you're pretty much on the same take. If Ben plays, they win.
Yeah, if they do play, if he does play, they do win. If he doesn't play, it's definitely gonna be a way closer game. But that doesn't change what I think about the defense.
Sure.
So that's where I'm at on that.
I've seen really bad Ravens offense being able to run on the Steelers, so I'm thinking that the football team tries to do a little bit something of the same. I think McKissick has a reliable role this week as well. I'll start him up. I'll start Terry McLaurin. Not trying to start Alex Smith really any week. There's probably just better passing options out there for you. I'm not saying it's a week that he's going off for 400 passing yards, but Ron Rivera, he's got that team rolling. I think he's
got something special going on.
I think he's got something for the Steelers this week. And I think it's going to be a close game. And whatever it is, no matter what the spread is, give me 7 points. Okay, nothing over 7.5 points. Nothing over 7.5. I'll take the football team to cover.
7 points.
I will take them to cover a touchdown.
If Big Ben's in, no. If Big Ben's out, yes. So that Big Ben, it's crazy how important he is to the fabric of the Steelers. Like I would say,
it's just Mason Rudolph is really fucking bad in my opinion.
And that's true. And I would say the only other person that's really as important as Big Ben right now is Patrick Mahomes because he's so great. But with Ben, there's just no one behind him, and it would they would be an 8-8 team like we saw last year without Ben. So I got the Steelers covering, and I'm gonna say Big Ben is in. They're gonna hit the under or over. If it's out, they're gonna hit the under.
What's the total? Because we don't have it on the board.
43.5.
43.5. I'll take the over either way. I'll take the over either way. If Big Ben isn't in, I could still see the defense scoring a touchdown, but the football team either still winning or covering.
Okay.
Yeah. Last couple of games we got here, really quick. Richard Finn was in the chat. He was saying he was glad to have you back. Saying he liked my PGA look. It's a Raiders fan look. This is what Raiders fans. This is what the Raiders fans dress like. I don't know. They can't afford jerseys. I'm pulling for Derek Carr this week, so I need the silver and black to go off. Next matchup we got the Bills and the Niners. That's a really close one.
That's closer than what.
And the Niners are playing a home game in Arizona.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Gonna be fun.
That's crazy. Is Jimmy G in?
No.
Yeah, this is a lot closer game than what you would expect with Jimmy G being out.
The Niners, they've been coming to play, man. They're showing that pride.
Well, I definitely believe that they're coming to play. I mean, I like Kyle Shanahan a lot, and he prepares his team very well.
Yes, sir.
He's actually a great practice squad quarterback. He apparently watches film, after he's watching film with the team and stuff. So, anyways,
Shanahan records film on himself playing quarterback in
watches
practice.
Film. And watches. This is from John Lynch. That was a quote from John Lynch, by the way.
That's funny.
And it just made me laugh. But I really do. I think San Francisco honestly has one of the brightest futures of the worst teams in the NFL because really they just suffered a lot of injuries to a lot of key players to them.
Super Bowl team last year. I mean,
yeah. But it's not like one of those Super Bowl teams where you're like, oh man, they fell off the fucking map and stuff. It was really just like, man, they just got hit with injuries.
They just got the injury bug, real bad.
If everyone was in, they'd probably be in the top conversation. So I'm really hopeful for them. They do keep in the fight all the time.
Always.
Shit. Buffalo's 6-5 against the spread, and San Francisco's 5-6 against the spread. So they're staying in the game. I'm going to say that Buffalo does win, just because of the injuries. Odd Sharks got 22-27 San Francisco, by the way. That's pretty cool.
I'm taking the Bills +1.
Okay, yeah, 56% of the money's on that. The over-under is 47.
Okay.
I'm going to say the under.
Okay.
52% is on the under.
Richard Sherman's back for the Niners a couple weeks now. Been looking a little bit better.
Got an interception last week.
But I don't think it's enough up against Diggs. Like Diggs versus Sherman, it's a different beast. The total, 47-47. I'm going to take the over. I think the Niners, they have enough offense here. The Bills' defense isn't as good as people think it is. They can shut you down in the air. They have a decent secondary. Obviously, Trey White there, he's awesome.
Poyer, Hyde.
But the running game for the Niners, it's just always there. And the Bills' rushing defense is just not that great. It's middle of the run, maybe even less than middle of the run.
I got it right here.
What do you have?
San Francisco is 16th in rushing yards. Buffalo's defense is 26th.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't love it. And honestly, the Niners rushing attack would be a lot better with their starters there healthy all year.
They would be. It would
so
challenge the Ravens.
They're at 16 right now with Mostert being in and out of the lineup, using guys like JaMychal Hasty,
Jeff Wilson
going back and forth. Well, Jeff Wilson's kind of like a guy for them though, but like Wilson, Coleman, just always back and forth.
Have every single guy in the running back room is a guy. They got Tavon Coleman, they got Jerick McKinnon, they got Raheem Mostert, they got Jeff Wilson, they got JaMychal Hasty. Every single one of them's a dude. And you know what? That's just a Shanahan way. The running backs, it doesn't matter who's carrying the ball because the linemen are very, very good at what they do. And Shanahan makes sure that scheme is coached very well. I said at the beginning of the season, I was like, a Shanahan offense can have a 1,000-yard rusher. It doesn't matter who it is. And we are seeing it right now. And it's just very impressive. And I'm glad that he's been keeping his team in it. And he's the only coach where he's been struggling all goddamn year. And not a single time have I heard, man, Kyle Shanahan needs to be fired.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, how could anyone even breathe those words?
Yeah.
I mean, he's just making this machine run still with no gas. He's got no one there. I mean,
Fred Flintstone.
Yeah, literally, with missing fucking Nick Bosa, Solomon Thomas, like the defensive liabilities that they have, they've just been cleaned up by the next man up process or theme or whatever that they're towing to there. So I'm all about the Niners. I don't think they win it this week. I do have the Bills covering. Could be a close matchup, and I'll take the over here for the Bills. Firing up everybody. Give me Allen. Fire up both those running backs. I don't care. I'm starting Singletary. I'll start Moss. Give me Gabe Davis. Give me Diggs. Give me Cole Beasley.
I was about to say, if you don't say Cole Beasley, you're killing me, bro.
I said all of them. Fire them all up. I need them. I need some Gabe Davis. I need him to find the end zone again this week.
Is Debo playing this year? Or this week?
Debo is playing in this game. So
I'll take Debo.
I'll take Ayuk.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know about the running backs, though. Mostert's there, so he's good to go.
I mean, when they're all healthy, who the hell do you know? Like, when they're all healthy, they kind of be put on a rotation. It's not really. We've been seeing these guys pop off because they don't have anybody else to run the ball. So
if you're sticking to one, stick with Mostert. He's back. He should be good to go.
Yeah.
He was kind of put away last week just for workload, and I don't think they necessarily needed him. But I bet he finds a touchdown this week.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Last one. We got Cowboys and Ravens.
Oh, yes. Cowboys and Ravens. Let me get that up really fast. Okay.
Good morning, everybody. Just jumping in. Appreciate you waking up with us. Go ahead and smash the like button.
Share, please.
That too.
If you haven't subscribed to YouTube, subscribe as well, too. We're finally over 100. So we got a couple benefits coming. But, we got Dallas and Baltimore.
We don't know anything about this game yet, though. We don't even know who's playing quarterback for Baltimore.
This is the first time I've ever seen 100% on the under. It's 44.5, 100% on the under.
Well, that's just people should not be making their bets on that total yet. I'm sorry. Like, we have no idea if Lamar Jackson's going to play or not. You know, like, you just should not be doing that.
What was your issue that you were having with your quarterbacks? You just mentioned it to me, and what was it?
It's not an issue because I'm staying in my lane.
Yeah, you're staying in your lane.
Staying in my lane. I'm starting Derek Carr. I cannot bench Derek Carr up against the Jets with no Josh Jacobs in the lineup. I have to bet and rely on him that he's going to get me 3 touchdowns. Lord, please. But the next one is between Jared Goff, a 4:05 Eastern start, and Lamar Jackson, a Tuesday game. And I just cannot, in my own right mind, keep Lamar Jackson in there. I just can't. Even if they give him the green light, like how do I do it? He's coming off of COVID. He has not been the same Lamar Jackson this entire season.
Yep.
The only thing that I could rely on is how bad the Dallas Cowboys rushing attack is. And then I would be making the assumption that with Lamar back and everyone else just completely banged up, I don't even know if Mark Andrews is playing in that game. Like, if Mark Andrews isn't even playing in that game, he's the best passing weapon or receiving weapon that they have. If Lamar doesn't have him, what am I trying to do here? What am I banking on? Oh, Lamar Jackson and Marquise Brown just out of nowhere got right in week 13. Lamar became a passing threat. No. I would be betting on Lamar just rushing for 250 yards, passing for 100, maybe getting 3 total touchdowns. I cannot in my right mind bet that right now, Sunday morning, week 13, with the information that's available. I can't do it.
I got you.
It hurts. It kills me. I traded for this guy. I wanted that stack. I wanted the Brown and Jackson stack going into the playoffs. It's burned to the ground. It's burnt to the ground.
I'm glad I chose Patrick Mahomes at the beginning of the season. I had Lamar Jackson. I rode his ass to the championship last year.
Yep.
And I chose Patrick Mahomes because it wasn't his skill that scared me away. It was the mode of play. Mm-hmm. And I did not see it as a sustainable model in the NFL. And, we're starting to see that a little bit. Hopefully that the play calling changes next year and we see kind of like a resurgence. But right now, Lamar Jackson is not viable. I mean, I said to Justin, I was like, dude, pull Lamar in. I was like, Dallas's defense is one of the worst rushing defense. He's like, yeah, but he still got COVID. And I was like, oh, shit.
It's just a pure gamble. It's a pure gamble. And when I'm on the outside looking in 7, needing 6, I can't. I cannot. And I'm playing. My matchup is with the guy who's in 6th place. I cannot. We are playing for the last spot. I cannot. I will not do it. I'm sorry. Unless they tell me that they replaced his legs with robotics overnight. Like, I mean, that'd be cool. That'd be dope, right? That'd be dope. Like, they give him the Alex Smith legs. Sorry,
that wouldn't be cool.
That would be cool. Yeah. But no, I can't do it. Honestly, for the Cowboys, I'm not trying to fire up any of those guys either.
I'm stuck with Zeke and Tony. So I'm going to be firing them up. But other than that, you know what?
I don't love their receivers this week.
Because they're playing the Ravens. Damn.
And the Ravens, it was really weird last week. Like, they allowed a ton of volume catch-wise to the Pittsburgh receivers, but they held them all in check on yardage. Like, Juju had like 8 front. It was like 8 catches for 37 yards. Eric Ebron, 7 for 34. Deontay Johnson, like 8 for 54. It was like, where is this volume going? Like, well, I mean, I don't understand. These guys are going nowhere with the ball, but they're getting catches. So
sounds like cover 2 because it sounds like they were trying to keep everything in front of them. They recognized that all the receivers had athletic ability to be able to use open space to get more yardage, and they allowed their corners to basically set up in a zone, see the play happen, and make the open field tackle. Marlon Humphreys and Marcus Peters are some of the top corners in the NFL. They had a lot of trust in them, and like you said, like I watched that game and I saw those receptions happen. I was like, man, they're getting diced up.
No big hitters though.
But when you told me those numbers, I was like, what? I was like, that's lockdown, yo. Like, that's a lockdown defense to me. I don't care if they have 8 receptions. If they only have 34 yards, that's a lockdown to me. And it was successful for them, but not as a team because, Pittsburgh won.
And that's why you don't play standard leagues. Like, that is the reason why you don't play standard leagues. Like, really, like, Juju Smith-Schuster had to get, 13 looks, 8 catches, and then he only got, 30-some-odd yards. How are you going to manage that in a standard league? 3.4 points?
Yeah.
For how many looks and how many times he was utilized in the offense. Not fair. Don't do it. Don't play standard. Don't do it. Give me Amari Cooper and Zeke, and that's about it.
That's all.
I can't dig into even CD Lamb this week. It's too important of a week. It's week 13. Everything's on the line here. There's no room for risk.
I think CD returns kicks, so if he does return kicks, I would play him just because I think that he would get some runs.
Just as we're about to end the show, Adam Schefter, he has to text me and let me know that, guess what, Nick? Lamar Jackson is expected to be activated off the COVID-19 list and start Tuesday night up against the Dallas Cowboys. So hammer the over.
Rock, paper, scissors.
I am not. I can't do it, man. I can't do it. I hate Jared Goff. He just drives me nuts. But I cannot do it. I got to go Goff. I have Kupp in the lineup, so if I'm right, I'm going to hit on it, and if I'm not right, I'm gone home. It's a 2-quarterback league. You need both your guys to hit. I'm going up against, I want to say it's Josh Allen and Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I need my guys to hit. It was funny you mentioned that first round because you took Patrick Mahomes in the first round, and it was awesome you were able to come back and get Tyreek Hill. But I drafted Dalvin Cook in that first round. So when in that draft, because Lamar Jackson went after Mahomes,
yeah, he was. I had that choice.
You and Emron were both ahead of me. Took both those quarterbacks ahead of me, and I was able to get Dalvin. Like being it when you think in your head, like, man, I'm going to pair Dalvin Cook with Lamar Jackson. Like
it on paper sounds amazing.
Like you're thinking in your head, like, oh my God, the promised land. I am coming. Punching the ticket. Reserve my seat. No, man, I am down to the wire, kicking myself in the dick. Like, oh my God, this is so stressful. Seriously, like this is really stressful. This is a really stressful week. Like I was stressed last week because I needed a win. And then I didn't get it. So it's like, okay, now that stress level's kind of gone, right? Because I know that I'm not making the playoffs in one league. That's okay. It's fine. I can live with it. Second in points, 10th in the league.
Damn. House.
Yeah. Third most points against.
Yeah.
Whatever. Lost the first 2 weeks by a combined 3 points.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I remember that.
Yeah. It's a big deal. I win those 2 games. I'm in third place type of thing. Like whatever. It is what it is. You take your licks, but then you revert back to the teams that you still have a chance. You're still in the running, and oh my God, I'm losing my mind. It's good problems to have. I could be, packing it in. I could be, like the Brothers Khan, anchoring down the Rick Relaxation League. But I don't know, man. It's going to be tough. I'm not looking forward to that Tuesday game whatsoever. Just because I'm going to wind up starting Goff. Oh, my God. It's going to be really nerve-wracking.
Well, I'm glad that you at least got some information. Sorry that you get sent back down into the grinder.
Yeah, it is what it is. But it's going to be fun. This is what Week 13 is all about. Hopefully you guys got some value out of this episode here. I don't know of much else that we have left to.
Nope.
Be sure to check out monkeyknifefight.com today. Use promo code to the Hizzy. They will match your deposit up to 100% up to $50. Got to really have a lot of fun games on there. A lot of different takes on props, reception totals, touchdown totals. You can put in 4 to 6 parlay picks on props. So check them out. Ton of fun. You got anything else?
Nope, I'm good. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys stopping by and spending your Saturday morning with us.
Yep, this wraps up the fantasy season. Thank you for riding with us. We will be back tomorrow night for Monday Night Football, and we'll keep you guys informed as we go forward here beyond the fantasy playoffs. I think after the fantasy playoffs, we're just going to be going to one show a week. So after, week 16? So we got 3 more weeks left of this. We'll ride you guys through your fantasy playoffs. But beyond that, we'll just be doing 1 show a week for football going into the NFL playoffs. And look out for, I think, next Thursday, we're going to be talking some playoff props. So we're finishing up our regular season props. We got some DJ Shark versus Devontae Parker, Aaron Rodgers.
I can't believe how close that one is, man.
It's not even that close anymore. So
it was close for a very long time. But
we got Aaron Rodgers versus Carson Wentz. We got some Anthony Miller versus Robbie Anderson. Those are going to be coming to an end. Mike Thomas, Hopkins, and who was the other one? Kenny Galladay for the touchdown race. Those will be coming to an end, and we're going to be getting some fresh ones out for the playoffs. So look out for that. This was TITTH number 78. Thanks so much for stopping by, guys. Take care. Be well.